Okay, the angular diameter of the moon as seen from the Earth is approximately 0.5 degrees, and the moon is approximately 380,000 kilometers from Earth. What is the real diameter of the moon? Okay, so a little clever manipulation on our part. So this time we would like to know the physical size. So I get the angular size as 0.05 equals the physical size. We're going to use a little symbol there. And it should be 360 divided by 2 pi times the distance, so 380,000. So we have that rule that if we divide by a fraction, we're going to multiply by its reciprocal. So if I take 0.5 times the reciprocal of that first fraction, so 2 pi times 380,000, divide that by 360, I should be able to solve for the physical size, or the actual diameter of the moon. So let's see, 0.5 times 2 times pi times 380,000, and I want to divide that by 360. And I get, let's see, 3,316. It's about the physical size of the moon. It's about 3,300 kilometers, give or take. Okay, pitch, grade, and slope. These are terms if you're driving on a mountain area. You might encounter signs that tell you to watch out, the pitch or the grade of this particular area is this percent. So let me kind of put some context in on this. So when we look at a steepness, we've got an x and a y, sort of, we go over x and up y. Well, that's the slope we define as sort of change in y over change in x. That's a typical high school algebra definition. When we talk about the pitch, we talk about it in terms of how far up versus over. So we talk about it in terms of y to x. We put numbers in with that, so we say it's y feet in x feet, and then the grade is the percent. So we actually take the y and divide it by the x and get a percent of some kind. So let me kind of illustrate this with some actual numbers here. So let's say I've got a mountain that, or I've got a slant that in 20 feet it goes up 2 feet. So our pitch would be 2 in 20 or 1 in 10, because we can reduce that out. Our slope in this case would be the fraction 2 over 20 or 1 in 10, again, if we reduce that out. And then our our grade would be the percent. So if I do 1 over 10 as a fraction and I get a decimal, I get 0.1. So that would be a 10% grade. Okay. So suppose a road has 100% grade. What is its slope? What is the pitch? And what does that mean? So 100% grade means x and y. And the way for that to happen is when I divide, I get the same number. So that means y over x has to 100%. So that means y has to equal x. They have to have the same numbers. So that would put it at a slope of 1. And again, we'd have to have specific numbers, but it'd be 1. Its pitch would be 1 to 1. All right, which is steeper, a road with 8% grade or a road with a pitch of 1 in 9? Well, in that case, I'd convert them both to percents. So 8% versus 1 over 9, which we can just type into a calculator. And we get about 11%. Well, clearly 11%. Let's see, the road is steeper with a road of 8% grade. So we would say that okay, so a Pythagorean theorem is a relationship in a right triangle. So let's define a couple of words here. We're going to label the side opposite the right angle is side C, and then we're going to label the other two sides, or legs, sides A and B, and that part doesn't necessarily matter. So the Pythagorean theorem is a relationship between these three sides, and it says that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And this is true only for right triangles. Okay, so we can do a little application with this. We can look at, say, this triangle here. Let's see, we want to find the area of this mountain lot. So in order to find area, we learned recently that area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, and base and height form a right angle. Okay, so looking at the picture then, one of my numbers is 250, so the other number is not there. So I need to find that. Now, knowing that I have the two sides of a triangle, we're going to call this mystery side x. So that's x squared plus 250 squared equals 1200 squared. And so I can solve for x then by subtracting. So 1200 squared minus 250 squared. And let's actually get a number for that. So 1200 squared minus 250 squared. I get 1377500. Okay, but that's x squared, so I want the square root of that. So that lovely number. Let's see. Let's make sure I got a plain square root button. I guess this will work. Square root of that. Oops, wrong way. Okay, so hopefully you got 1173-ish, 1174. .67. Okay, so then to find the area of this lot, it's 1/2, and then I want to multiply those two numbers together. Times the 250. Okay, so times 250, and then I want to divide that by 2. And I get 146,750. 50 feet squared. Okay, so similar triangles are two triangles that have the same shape but have different sizes. So I'll kind of draw two different pictures here. So A, B, C, and we'll call this DEF. So if I look at any given side on AB, if I say that these two triangles are similar to each other, so triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF, what I'm saying is for each side in ABC, there's a constant of something I can multiply by to get DEF. So let's say that AB is 10 and DE is 5. That means DEF is half as big, or ABC is twice as big as DEF, depending on how you want to look at that. And so in this case, we do lots of similar triangles to, proportions. We do lots of proportions and then cross multiply and divide to find missing information. So for example, find the lengths of sides labeled A and C prime, it looks like. So looking at these two triangles, I can see that the big triangle B over B prime, and I want to find A, so we'll go A over A prime, and we'll also set that equal to C over C prime. So each of those relationships should be the same constant. I can see I've got 9 over 6, and then I don't know A, but I do know that in the smaller triangle that's 4. So in this case I can cross multiply and divide. So 9 times 4 equals 6A. So then I want to divide by 6 to get A. So that's 36 over 6. So A is 6. Okay, similarly, I can do the same thing with C. So 9 over 6 equals 12 over this missing side. So cross multiply. So 6 times 12 equals 9 times the missing side. Then I can divide by 9. So 6 times 12 over 9. And we'll go to a calculator for that. So 6 times 12 divided by 9 is 8. So 8 is the missing side.